Hi guys, a query came up today from somebody asking about how to control sound that was bleeding into other frames. Now my feeling is if one person has this problem, a few people have this problem. So the issue is with being on a frame and having audio on it, and when you move from that frame to another via a button click or something, the audio from the last frame and then the next new frame starts playing at the same time, so it's bleeding out. That's a common problem in Animate, and there are a number of different ways of fixing it, but what I have here is a little example of one way of solving the problem, right? So I'm after loading two sounds onto a frame here just to show you. I've got this frame here. I'm going to lower this speaker down because it's absolutely... Well, okay, there we go. Now, so I have a home frame here that basically would link to two pieces of music. The first one goes to here and it plays, and then the second one goes to here and it plays. So I'm going to run this and let you see it, right? Now hopefully it's not going to be too loud. I was having a problem getting the sound mix right on this earlier. Give it a second. Now.
Is this just a dream? Is there reality somewhere?
When I click on the home button, it brings me back here and the sound stops. That's very important. And when I click on this one, okay, so that works okay. I've got two sounds, they jump to two places on the timeline, and when they go back to the home page, they don't keep playing, right? Now, let's have a look and see how that's being controlled. Okay, as you'll see, so there's two frames here for my home page. I've got two frames for the first piece of music, and I have two frames for the second piece of music. Now, you might ask why. The reason is, when I jump back to a frame, pardon me, it is possible to stop all the sounds that are playing at that time. But if I want to start more music at that time, the code I will use will actually stop everything. Okay, so when I jump back to the frame, it will stop the music that was playing previously, but it won't allow me to start anything new. So what I've actually done here is I've put a tiny little piece of code. I'll just have a look at this, watch. It's off screen. Okay, see that code there? Sound mixer dot stop all, open close brackets, semicolon. Okay, that does everything essentially. What that does is that will stop all sounds when you arrive on a frame. The difficulty is that when you go back to your home page, if you have a piece of music playing on your home page, it will stop that before it starts. So the thing to do is have two frames. So that little piece of code is right here, and then the next frame over has the actual button code. So when I jump back, that frame there actually has that code. That's the one with the name. That's the one I navigate to. It's called home, right? But you'll see there's no stop code. So the animation goes there. We're running an animation that's basically one. Okay, so it's 30 frames per second. So it will stop there for 1/30 of a second and automatically go here, where there is stop code, and then there's two pieces of button code listening out for someone to click on either of these. Now, let's follow it down the timeline and see where it goes. So we click on the first one, it navigates to a frame called sunset, and there's the sunset frame there. What have I got? A sound mixer of stop all code, which stops the sounds playing. Now, I don't have anything on my homepage, but I do have two other sounds further on down. So I'm going to remove this code in a second and show you what happens. Okay, so again, I'm here. I click on my sunset button, which is that one over there on the left. That will bring me to here. It will stop any sound playing if it is playing. Then it will go here and stop, and it will wait for me to click a button. So the music that's going to play on that frame will continue to play from there. You can see it's not here, it's there. And then I click my little home button and it brings me back to here. I can then click on my other one, it's called Kelly Andrew Beyond the Stars, and that will bring me all the way down to here. And the first thing that will happen is it will stop any sound that's playing. And then I'll go in here and this piece of music will start from here, okay? So I'm going to run it once more, and then I'm going to take that stop all code out and show you what happens. Of course, if I actually ran it, that would be tremendous. So it works. Now, let's go back in and cut the stop all out of everywhere. I'm going to take it out of here. I'm going to take it out of here. So now there's nothing to stop the music playing. So let's try it now and see what happens.
Is this just a dream? Is there reality somewhere? Is this just a dream? Is there reality somewhere? Is this just a dream?
It's like a nightmare, isn't it? So what's happening there is I go to Sunset, it plays that piece of music. I go back to the home page, it continues to play. I go to Kelly, it plays that piece of music. On top of Sunset, I go back to home page, it continues to play. And every time I do that, it reloads another iteration of the music, and eventually it sounds like I'm in a home and it's going through my head. So we don't want that to happen. So the way to stop that happening is that tiny little piece of code. I'm going to put it back into these places now. And that tiny little piece of code just stops anything playing. And it gives you an animation that's not going to have terrible sound in it, or that's bleeding over into the wrong places. So that's how to fix this. So if you're experiencing this problem, the thing to do is make an additional frame. Perfect. So make an additional frame for each of your topics. And just basically what you do is you're going to have a singular vertical frame with your background and your character and your TV or whatever it is and your images and all of that stuff. Basically duplicate all of them one frame to the right. And all you have to do is make sure that the code for the first frame only has soundmixer.music stop all. And the second one is just normal. So there's no stop code on the first one. So it hits it, plays forward. Then you get to the second one and then it stops there and waits for you to click on a button, and if you want to put music there, it'll automatically play. So that's going to solve that problem for you. It's easy enough to do that, so hopefully that will solve that. There's a few other issues that a few people mentioned. I'm going to try and get videos up on those as well, but that should stop that. Okay, right, if you have any queries or anything, let me know, and I'll get back to you.